How's it going, everyone? Sean Ross here, and welcome back. I'm continuing my watch along for RWBY, and right now we're about to dive into Chapter 1 of Volume 1 of RWBY, entitled Ruby Rose, and I am really excited just to delve back into this series once again. We already got through the 4 original trailers, the red, the white, the black, and the yellow. I really enjoyed going back and rewatching those again. Those trailers are just so cool. The action in them, the way they're choreographed, everything about them is just so cool. And if you guys want to see my reaction/reviews for those trailers, there'll be a playlist at the end of this video, and you can find the playlist on my channel. It was definitely really fun to go back, but I just wanted to delve right back into the series of RWBY because Volume 5 is going to be here in October, and I cannot wait for it. So this is just to get myself reacquainted with the world of RWBY, the characters, the storyline, and just make sure that I'm up to date once Volume 5 comes back around again, and I'm just super excited. So enough dilly-dallying. Before we actually get into it, you can find the link for this video in the description, and definitely go check out Rooster Teeth's YouTube page. But without further ado, let's dive into Volume 1, Chapter 1, entitled Ruby Rose. Alright guys, gonna be starting this video in 3, 2, 1, go.
Legends. Stories scattered through time. Mankind has grown quite fond of recounting the exploits of heroes and villains, forgetting so easily that we are remnants, byproducts of a forgotten past. Man, born from dust, was strong, wise, and resourceful. But he was born into an unforgiving world. An inevitable darkness, creatures of destruction, the creatures of Grimm, set their sights on man and all of his creations. These forces clashed, and it seemed the darkness was intent on returning man's brief existence to the void. However, even the smallest spark of hope is enough to ignite change. And in time, man's passion, resourcefulness, and ingenuity led them to the tools that would help even the odds. This power was appropriately named Dust.
Dust.
Nature's wrath in hand, man lit their way through the darkness. And in the shadow's absence came strength, civilization, and most importantly, life. But even the most brilliant lights eventually flicker and die.
I really like that animation that they use for that history lesson.
Darkness will return.
This guy made a cameo in the yellow trailer. He is back once again.
So you may prepare your guardians.
Oh god, that walking animation. Oh man.
World. But take heed. There will be no victory in strength.
From dusk till dawn.
But perhaps victory is in the simpler things that you've long forgotten. Things that require a smaller, more honest soul.
RWBY!
Do you have any idea how hard it is to find a dust shop open this late?
Please, just take my lien and leave.
Poor old man.
Calm down. We're not here for your money. Grab the dust. Crystals. Burn uncut.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
All right, kid. Put your hands where I can see them. Hey, I said hands in the air. You got a death wish or something?
Oh, she's so cute.
Yes?
I said, put your hands in the air, now.
Are you robbing me?
Yes.
Oh.
Hey.
Got wrecked. These guys obviously have not seen the red trailer. The music. Oh, man.
Okay. Get her.
Ooh, first action piece of the show. The movement she can do with that.
Truly you were. Well, Red, I think we can all say it's been an eventful evening. And as much as I'd love to stick around, I'm afraid this is where we part ways.
Oh, he pulled a Batman. Get him.
You okay if I go after him? Hey!
Oh, I love how she used the gun to get up there. That's cool. Got an airship.
End of the line, Red.
Player 2 has entered the game. Damn.
We got a huntress.
Wow. Whew. Now this is a battle right here. That weapon is awesome. Good save.
You're a huntress. Can I have your autograph?
Your actions tonight will not be taken lightly, young lady. You put yourself and others in great danger.
They started it!
If it were up to me, you'd be sent home with a pat on the back and a slap on the wrist.
Aw.
But there's someone here who would like to meet you.
Ruby Road.
Cookies.
You have silver eyes.
That she does.
So, where did you learn to do this?
Signal Academy?
They taught you to use one of the most dangerous weapons ever designed?
Well, one teacher in particular.
I see.
I always wondered how they got the footage of her fighting. I wonder if it's like a surveillance camera on like the street or something.
It's just that I've only seen one other scythe wielder of that skill before. A dusty old crow.
That's my uncle. Sorry. That's my Uncle Crow. He's a teacher at Signal. I was complete garbage before he took me under his wing, and now I'm all like...
She is
So I've
adorable.
noticed. And what is an adorable girl such as yourself doing at a school designed to train warriors?
Well, I want to be a huntress.
You want to slay monsters?
Yeah. I only have 2 more years of training left at Signal, and then I'm going to apply to Beacon. See, my sister's starting there this year, and she's trying to become a huntress, and I'm trying to become a huntress because I want to help people. And my parents always taught us to help others, so I thought, oh, I might as well make a career out of it. I mean, the police are alright, but husband and huntresses are just so much more romantic and exciting and cool, you know?
Do you know who I am?
You're Professor Ozpin. You're the headmaster at Beacon.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
You want to come to my school?
More than anything.
Well, okay.
Oh, I can't believe my baby sister's
Yang!
me. This is the best day ever. Please stop. But I'm so process, it was nothing.
What do you mean? It was incredible! Everyone at Beacon is gonna think you're the bee's knees.
I don't want to be the bee's knees, okay? I don't want to be any kind of knees. I just want to be a normal girl with normal knees.
What's with you? Aren't you excited?
Of course I'm excited. I got moved ahead 2 years. I don't want people to think I'm special or anything.
They are.
But you are special.
The robbery was led by nefarious criminal Roman Torchwick, who continues to evade authorities. If you have any information on his whereabouts, please contact the Vale Police Department. Back to you.
That was like a dirty mugshot.
Thank you, Cyril. In other news, this Saturday's Fauna civil rights protest turned dark when members of the White Fang disrupted the ceremony. The once peaceful organization has now disrupted.
Hello and welcome to Beacon.
Who's that?
My name is Glinda Goodwitch.
Oh,
You
I always
are
love that part.
privileged few who have received the honor of being selected to attend this prestigious academy. Our world is experiencing an incredible time of peace, and as future huntsmen and huntresses, it is your duty to uphold it. You have demonstrated the courage needed for such a task, and now it is our turn to provide you with the knowledge and the training to protect our world.
Look, you can see signal from up here.
Now that's how you travel.
I guess home isn't too far after all.
Beacon's our home now. Well, I guess the view isn't for everyone.
It was a nice moment while it lasted.
I wonder who we're gonna meet.
I just hope they're better than Vomit Boy.
Oh, yay! Gross! You have puke on your shoe!
Gross, 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 gross.
Get away! Get away from me! Get away from me! Get away from me! Get away from me!
Very nice. Yeah. The opening. Oh, I love the intro musics to RWBY. Oh man. Love this. Oh man. RWBY. Oh man, first episode done. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the first episode to Volume 1 of RWBY, Ruby Rose, the story of a girl named Ruby on her quest to become a normal girl with normal knees. I love that line in this first chapter, not episode. Usually I call these episodes, but they are referred to as chapters. But this first episode is a very good first episode in the fact that it definitely builds out the whole world. The whole point of the first episode of any series is to introduce us to the main character, the story that we're gonna be going on, but also the world that they live in. And I honestly think it does a pretty good job, especially with that brief history lesson we kind of get with the narrator. And a little hint for all you guys, the person that did the voice for the narration at the very beginning is actually the voice of Cortana in the Halo series, which I think is actually very funny. Also, judging by the fact that Rooster Teeth basically got their start doing like Red versus Blue, you know, taking the Halo series and making a series out of that, kind of like abridging it in a way. So I find that very, very cool that they got the voice of Cortana to be the voice of the narrator for the first episode, and I like that very, very much. But then you also come to hear a second voice near the end of that narration, which turned out to be Professor Ozpin, who gets introduced later on in this story. And speaking of other characters, another character that we come to see in this episode that actually made a debut in the yellow trailer is actually Roman Torchwick, this thug criminal type of guy who's got all of his goons with him, and he's raiding this dust shop. This poor old man getting robbed of all of his precious dust. But then RWBY, thank God, is there reading a magazine, listening to the intro of this episode, of this volume, which is so, so cool. And then she just goes berserk on all of these goons, rips out her scythe, and then just goes to town on all of them, ends up chasing down Torchwick, and then we have like this 2-on-2 battle between Roman Torchwick and this mysterious woman who's also in the same vehicle as him. But then we also have Glinda Goodwitch make an appearance, comes in to save RWBY, and then they fly off, and then she ends up reprimanding RWBY and basically saying like, why were you there? You should not have been doing this. And we come to learn the story that RWBY is going to be going, and the plot moving forward is that she wants to be a huntress. She wants to go out, slay monsters, protect the innocent, and overall just do good for the world that she lives in. And she comes across Professor Ozpin in this episode, and it's actually very interesting. There's two things that get brought up in that part where immediately as soon as Ozpin sees her, points out, it's like, you have silver eyes, which you don't really see silver eyes all too much in the real world, but I guess it might be a rarity in the world of RWBY. But that is definitely something, when a character points something out, you should definitely pay attention to that, because it could get brought up later on down the road. And especially when like names get dropped in a series as well, when RWBY mentions her Uncle Crow ended up teaching her how to use her scythe at Signal Academy, the academy that she was already going to. So hearing Uncle Crow's name, that is also a very important character as well, because that person ended up teaching RWBY all that she knows about how to wield that scythe that she has, which I think is very, very cool. But it also names drop that there are schools that huntresses or huntresses in training go to in order to perfect their skills. Right now, RWBY is at Signal, but by the end of this episode, ends up getting accepted by Professor Ozpin to Beacon Academy, where she's actually being bumped ahead 2 years with her sister, Yang, which I'm absolutely ecstatic just to see Yang again. That's like my favorite character. Out of the 4 main girls, I absolutely love Yang's character, but getting to see the sister interaction between RWBY and Yang is very cool. The normal knees conversation right in there is also very nice as well. It just goes to show the personalities, and the way that these two are able to bounce back and forth with one another, I think is very cool. But you also come to see that Yang is very optimistic. She's a very optimistic character, but she's also proud that her little sister got bumped up 2 years and will be going to school with her. So there's not really any anger there, which is really nice to see as well. But I think based on a production standpoint for this episode too, is you'll notice that a lot of the background characters are just blacked out. And that is due to budget constraints, due to the early developments of RWBY. This is heavy in Volume 1. It's just because they didn't have the budget or the manpower at the time to basically have every background character have detail to them. So in order to save on money and time, background characters are colored in black, but it also makes it very easy to notice the standout characters when they actually have detail, and you can be like, all right, that character is important. Those characters in the background are not. So I actually like that aesthetic of Volume 1, and you will see that all throughout Volume 1 until, you know, time moves on, more money gets pushed into the series, and more manpower behind the scenes with editors and all the sorts like that. So that's really cool. But by the end of this episode, we see Vomit Boy vomiting everywhere. Yang's got some on her shoes, and we just see Beacon in the distance, which is a very beautiful shot, by the way. And this is where our journey is beginning. RWBY and Yang are right now off to become huntresses at Beacon Academy, and I'm really excited just to restart this journey and go through episode by episode. Anyway, guys, that is the first episode of RWBY. I'm really looking forward to going into the rest of these episodes. I know that a lot of these episodes in Volume 1 are part 2, so you'll have like 2 videos in one, at least for Volume 1, and then like we'll have 1 episode for each video moving forward. But I'm really excited to go on this journey and just excited to talk with you guys as we go through this episode by episode. So that's going to be it for this, guys. Episode 2 or Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, which is a Part 1, Part 2, will be coming out very, very soon. But until that video, I'll talk with you guys then. All right, guys, see you later.